So you opened the door to talk about the Jets. So I can ask you, how are you doing, honey? How are you doing? How are you handling the news? I said to the guys that like he gained it's like losing a daughter, getting a son, because you got a really good left-handed starter today. But I would have imagined that maybe the Jets news may have made you a little ill.
Well, no, I'm fine. I want to see what Mike White can do. I want to see what he can do, and I want to see him out there in a consistent basis. But this is now the second time, he's gotten hurt, and I hope that's not an indication of anything. I think he's tough as nails. We saw it last week, but last year I wanted to see more out of him, and he got hurt in a Thursday night game that he came in like a house of fire into, and he couldn't complete it. And now it's happened again. This time around, though, it's none of his fault. He got basically sawed in half by the Buffalo Bills and Matt Milano. But here's the deal: like the coach said that they needed to hit the reset button with Zach Wilson, and Mike White came in and showed him how it's done. And so has, by the way, Brock Purdy. It's the same offense. It's the same concept. It's the same ideas. And if Purdy could do it in San Francisco and Mike White can do it in New York, then Zach Wilson should be able to do it there too. And if he did need this reset, and if he did absorb the right things and is bringing the right mindset and attitude and game to the field, then he should win this football game. And it's time to do that. And if Zach Wilson is going to be the future in New York, or have an opportunity to be the future in New York, which he says he still feels he is, because again, like I said, it's San Francisco showing there are no sacred cows at quarterback or anywhere in the NFL if somebody else is going to take an opportunity and run with it. So this is it for Zach. This is it. If he wants to be the future, he now has another opportunity to do it. He's very lucky because Mike White has captured the locker room and the fan base and the fancy of all in New York who root for the Jets. So now Zach has gotten that opportunity back, and let's see what he'll do with it. Personally, I wish it was on the road because, teams bond better on the road and you can focus more on the road. And if he throws a couple at Garrett Wilson's feet, or he tries to do too much and throws one of those many balls up for grabs like he's done in the losses to New England, he's going to hear it. And then we'll find out if he's cut out for New York, because he's going to hear it from Jets fans. It's going to be loud. Certainly if the Lions come in, of all teams that could beat them, it's the Detroit Lions, which is who are playing terrifically. And we've talked about on the show how well they're playing. But when it comes to the New York fan base, these are still the Detroit Lions. I mean, like I'm looking at my notes for the Browns and the Ravens game, and here it is. I just passed off on this note. The Browns, if they lose on Saturday or any of their remaining games, would have a 21st season since returning to action in Cleveland with a losing record, 21. And the team that's right below them on that list are the Detroit Lions. So it doesn't matter how well they're playing. The Lions are a franchise that's supposed to be, in the Jets' mind's eye, even worse than the Jets, and in dire straits more than the Jets. If they come into this building and mop the floor with a Jets defense that might be without Quinnen Williams here, and Zach Wilson can't perform well, he's going to hear it. And it could be particularly ugly for him if he can't handle it.
Hey, Rich, more importantly,
big game for him.
More importantly, are you worried that you're becoming the kiss of death when it comes to takes? Because, a few weeks ago, you were so, boisterous about saying you never wanted to see Zach play quarterback again for the Jets. And here we are.
Nope.
And now he's starting. So are you worried that you're,
Typical of you, Chris. to not only be, first of all, what a glass house the cooler of the Rich Eisen Show is throwing a stone from right now, okay?
My teams
That's
have won a
number
lot,
one.
so I'm just,
Oh, okay. Well, with you physically being there and sitting there?
I was there in
is that right?
2018 when the Red Sox won, so that ended the cooler talk. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, very good. Look, but you misconstrued what I said. It's not that I said I don't want to see him start.
I can go back and look at the video.
No. I said I
Colonel
don't care
Jessup.
if he doesn't start another game for them. Okay, there's a difference in that. The fact that I'm done with him and I don't want to see him anymore. I said I don't care if he doesn't start another game for the Jets because I liked what I saw in Mike White. He found a Wilson on the field to the point where we were talking the other day because Coop asked if Brock Purdy could be Rookie of the Year offensively, and we're like, well, Garrett Wilson is currently the front runner for that. That's not Zach Wilson finding him. It's Mike White finding him. Elijah Moore, we needed in terms of proof of life when Zach was a quarterback. He had to hold up a newspaper to see what day it was to make sure that he was still alive. Okay? So Mike White has shown how it can be done. And so I said at the time, I don't care if Zach doesn't start another game for him. He now is starting another game for him.
Oh, okay.
And so be it.
Are you pacing right now? Are you walking across the? I mean, I can. Yeah.
I am pacing right now. Yes. I got up from the chair. I was calmly sitting in my chair, talking about Brock Purdy. Yep. This got me out of my chair. I am in fact pacing now.
Honey, do me a favor. Take a moment, compose yourself, and talk to us in your New York voice. And address this to Zach Wilson for what you're hoping to see this weekend, please. Give us a little, just direct to Zach.
Yeah,
it's just you and Zach.
Rich,
there's nobody else. There's nobody else watching.
It's 1998. Yeah. It's 2 a.m. You're driving home to your apartment in New York City, and you're like, "Hey, I'm gonna call into the fan." And then let it rip.
Hey, Rich, how are you?
This is Dickie Eyes from Staten Island, you know.
Hey,
first time, long time. Let's go to Richie on a cell phone.
Okay. Here we go.
Richie, you're on.
I've got to comport myself. Long time listener, first time caller. It's Rich from Staten Island calling. Listen. Zach Wilson has got to get his head out of that spot where his sun doesn't shine.
Hey.
Because now's the time to show that he doesn't have this thin skin from Utah. Okay, you're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. It's time to get out there and show everybody how you can play ball. Because otherwise, get out. I don't want to hear from you anymore. It's time for even Flacco. This team can win now. This guy couldn't do it before. Of course, Mike White is going to get sawed in half. Forget it. It's time for Zach to do it. Otherwise, get out of here. How's that?
Nice.
Let me ask you guys a question. Do you think if he had had that accent when we met, we'd have 3 kids now? That's my question.
You probably have 6.
That was rough.
Hey.
Huh?
You probably have 6.
I don't think so.
I'll tell you, when I first started doing TV, I would say tournament.
Tournament, I remember that.
Tournament, NCAA tournament. Like when I was up in Redding, California, that's how I would say, let's go to the NCAA tournament, to the point where I had to sit down and write the word tour on my script, T-O-U-R, and just underline it. So I started to say turn, T-U-R-N, is when I started scripting it, T-U-R-N-ament, because I'm a professional. I'm still pacing.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.